we're just going to start arranging and formatting these. So there will be need to move all these visuals. Sometimes some people just, arrange on the go. They just keep doing the work as they are creating the visuals. They just start just like that. So it depends on what you want. But we'll start with the background color. I've picked from a particular theme that I wish to. So this Canva background, which I'm clicking on already, I'm coming into the paintbrush and I'll go into this Canva background. It's the color that I want to change. I've got a particular color in mind. So which is hash. Sorry, let's hash. So I got this code I'm typing in. We call it hex code, HEX for xylophone. So if there's a particular color, the actual shade that you want, and you have access to the hex code, you can always come and put it here. It's what is put here, HEX, and that being a code. So that's #91EF9FC. So I've just gone on to copy these or steal this from another Power BI that I had done quite a long time ago. And I think it's looking like, okay. So it's not the Canva background, it's the wallpaper. It's the wallpaper that I should have said I'm changing. Okay. So the theme I have in mind for us are mostly different shades of blue. Okay. Different shades of blue. So let's see how we can make everything look blending with different colors of blue. Now,
Sadebs.
yes.
Sorry to cut in.
Yeah.
I just went through the previous videos and I couldn't find the exact one that talked about dates. I think it was not recorded.
Which of the dates? We did dates in 2 phases. Is it the one where you use the table code or the formula one?
The formula one, we did it the other time. That's with the previous task. For this particular one that we have on this one that we're doing right now, this current task, the date table was not recorded.
It was.
Okay, I'll still go back and check.
Yes, it was. I think it was recorded probably twice as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. So we started by changing clicking on the background, and this is optional. Now, this is where this is entirely now up to you, what you want to do. Most of the time, it's advisable that you're using your work color, the different colors within the logo of your company. Okay. But just something that blends well, that's not, we don't want color riot happening. You just want everything to be eye-catchy. I'm trying to change the font here. So, and that value is the call out value. So I like to use Arial, but that 45, the size 45 is too much. So I would make it 20. You see, that looks a lot smaller. Okay. You can decide to bolden it if you want. Okay. You can decide to not have it as M. You may decide to want everything, all the figures out. So everything, like it's display units now, I may decide, it says it's automatic, it's just picked automatic unit for it. Okay, so you could decide to remove that and have your 28 million and the rest of the figures out like that, you know. You could decide to make it to be in thousands, you know. You could decide to have it in millions like we had initially. You can decide you want the unit in billions and it will give you that. But I normally just remove this just so that you can see the actual figure that you are working with. Okay. And this decimal place is not bringing much value. Okay. So I can go into the value decimal places here. Again, it's automatic. And I can just put 0 there for that one. And you can see that the decimal has disappeared, you know, for that. So that is easily readable as 28,362,240 in pounds. Okay, so that is formatted like that. I can do more. I can decide to maybe have a kind of a background. Either the background to be the same, exactly the same as the code, the one I have here. And the good thing is, if I go into the color of the background now, under general for this. Now, different visuals, you would need to toggle around. Different visuals have their own different things happening in terms of where is what situated. Where would I find what? Okay. Now, properties talking about the height and the width of this. If I want to change that, I can come and do that here. And position as well. These are all good tools for aligning, you know, for aligning your work. Under effects, I was looking for the background. So if I want a different color for the background, I can go that, and that is what I would get. Okay. And you may decide to bring some transparency in, okay, for that particular color, just to change it up a little bit. You may decide that you want 50% transparency. When it was not transparent, look at what you had. It was deeper, but at 50% transparency, we have it looking like that shade. Okay, this might be what you want. Okay, so, and you if I'm thinking again of, instead, sometimes you have your KPIs all arranged on the top, but nothing is to say you can't have them by the side, you know. So if I look at the size under visual, general, 105, 193. If I want the same for this as well, I'll just put it's 105, then this would be 193 as well. Okay. I can come here and copy the formatting. So Format Painter, I'm copying the formatting there and putting the brush on this so that I don't have to do all of that hard work, you know, all over again. Okay. And I can keep doing that for each one of them. Okay. For each one of the carpets now, or the cards. Okay. So, and the aim is to have them all put here. And then we'll see if this is 193. So let's put this as 193 as well, so that they have the same exactly the same width, 193 and 193. Okay. And this should be 105 like the rest. Okay. So there we have that. It's just now trying to align and, you know, trying to align them like together like that. Again, it's entirely up to you how you want to show this. The way it appeals to you is the way you want to show it. Okay. I can decide to make the backgrounds that we are seeing now disappear, these backgrounds, so that all the cards are together. So let's move this just tiny wee bits on top like that, and this. I don't have my mouse. Doing this with a mouse makes life a lot easier. But yeah, something like that. Okay, so we can decide. Let me see if the visual border, so all of the formatting happens within this paintbrush, by the way. So if I go into effects and see, if I turn on this visual border, it means we can see the line around it, but I don't want the line around it to show. You may want a 3D effect to it. That's the shadow. Okay. So if you want that, I like to put it because, like I said, it just gives it a little bit more depth. So if we do that, I think I may want to these total sales, their call out name or category label. This category label, I may want to make that show better. Okay, so if we go into that label, this is the font it's currently using. I'll use Arial for consistency. I'll reduce that a little, but more importantly, I want it to show. So a black color would be nice, you know, and instead of doing, so I can come back here and, you know, copy the change that I've just made onto each of these ones. Okay, so let me save that. Now, as we move, we can decide to group these together, but before we do any grouping together, I want to be sure about the size. If this size that we are using would serve us well. If I need to increase it a little, let me, the one I'm copying from, let me see the size that was used. Properties, 101, 188. Okay, 101, 188. It looks like ours is even bigger. So if we go into properties, that's 101, 188. So this size is all right then, because I don't want it smaller than what we currently are dealing with. Okay, now I'm going to group them together so that you see, if I move this now, each of them would move, they would move they won't be moving together. Okay, so I can decide to do a control, click all of them, control, and anytime I am moving, after I've aligned them well, anytime I'm moving any one of them, they can all move, you know, they can all move together. One way to actually properly align that well, just to ensure that there's equal spacing around here, is to click all of them. So I'm pressing my control to pick all of them. And if we come to format, I believe, yes, and we come to align, we can say that we need them to be distributed vertically, I believe. So yes, so if they were running across like this, I would have distributed horizontally, but they are running down. So I'm distributing them vertically. While they have all been clicked, I'm going to right click and group them together. So I right clicked on one, they have all been picked up and I group. Okay. And what that then means, can you see? What that means is I can move them all around together without feeling like like I've done anything wrong, so to say. Okay. So I'll save what has been done so far on that one. And then we have the first question. Okay, so the little story we've managed to tell here is that in our business, this was the total sales. Okay, actually, I think cost should have come first if we are serious about telling stories, because the business cost you something first. You spend some money to get the product first. And on selling, so costs is what I'll put, let me ungroup and actually redo that arrangement. So we are saying that as a business, this happened first, then we made sales, okay? So we went to the market, bought our products, we then sold, and this was what came in after selling, and this was the profit that we realized. And it's this much quantities of products. Actually, I think quantity should come in, probably between sales or before sales or after sales, to be honest, before we start talking about profit. Okay, so because yes, the story is that we went to the market with this amount, and okay, and we bought, I mean, this is not everything we bought. This quantity is about the quantity of things that were sold. So it's okay in this position. Okay, so we bought a lot of products. And when we sold the much that we sold, this amount came in. And this amount came in because we sold this total quantity of products, you see. And this is the profit that we realized, from all of that process. And this is our profit margin. Does that story go well for what we've arranged so far? Or is there anything we want to correct?
I think the arrangement is fine.
Okay. So in that case, then I'm going to control and pick all of them and group again. We align and distribute, align, and we'll distribute vertically so that the spacing is right. Then even the grouping is even here as well. We can use it from here or right click. So that way, yes, they are grouped together. So this part is fine, okay? And I can use the top part to put my title if I want, okay? And then the next one is this our first question that we answered, which is okay. So those tiny dotted lines tell you if you are in sync, if you are in alignment, and how you are in alignment, okay? just so that we haven't overused this particular visual. I think it would be all right for us to change this to maybe the donut chart. Okay, just for us to have something a little different. Okay, because the rest are exactly like that. So the donut chart gives us that. Okay, and we can format this donut chart as well. So if we go into the paintbrush while that is picked, that has been picked up, and we use different, different shades of, let's see what we would want to change on there. I see the legend is on. So if we go into the legend, do we like the position that this legend has been put? It says center right. But it could be the top like that, top left, or top center. Is there top center? I think I would love top center, yes. More like that, okay? But you can experiment with more, okay? And we looking at the information we can see, it is giving us both value and percentage of each portion. So this look here brought in 6 million, and Yvette 3 million. Okay, between Yvette and Gary, it's both rounded to 3 million, but from the percentage we can see that Gary brought in more. Okay, but we need to make that clearer than that. Okay, so if we go into the slices, you may decide to change each color from what it currently is. That's your decision. That's something you may want to decide. I could decide that Yvette has color if we put this color, what does it look like? Okay. And if we make it transparent more, that's looking almost like white, okay? But I think that is all right. We can decide to change the detailed label. Position of it is outside. Let's look at the other options. Inside doesn't look good. Okay, prefer outside. Okay, so outside seems to be all right. Label contents is both data value and percentage. So which is fine. But those values we can work more on. We can make the values, again, I'll go for Arial. We can, let's see if we increase and then the color of the font, let's maintain color black for font, okay? The background for these values, let's see if background is on. It didn't change any background for us, okay? Again, display units is automatic. So if I put none, those figures are quite big. Decimal places 0. Okay, so for display units, I think we should maintain. Auto, only because of how massive that was looking. Okay, or we can do thousands. Okay, which can be hard to read properly, because those figures are actually in millions. Okay, so that person will be racking their brain to understand that. So I'll put it back in auto. Okay, no decimal places, you know, and our percentage is fine the way that it's been displayed. Okay, and then probably it's the properties under effect. We may want to do this. Okay. That looks that just swallowed up our it just swallowed up our what's it called? Events. Okay. So maybe we are better off leaving it as white. Okay, if I leave it as white and just dim it a little bit, maybe 30%, just something that gives it. You see, this is why you would spend a bit of time here, because you are doing a lot of trial and error. Someone else would argue that this event one here has disappeared, you know, into the whole thing. So I'm giving that some shadow effect, okay? And I'm going to go back into slices and pick something a bit deeper for Yvette, okay? So not something as light as that. So let's go in here and deepen it a little. I think that's starting to look. I don't want it to blend into the other blue colors either, okay? That's not too bad. If we remove the transparency, what would it look like? Okay, we are still able to differentiate between the three colors, despite the fact that they are all blue. Okay, so maybe 10% would not not take things a little too far off. So I'll save that. Our title. Okay, let's work on that title to appear better. So if we put the title, again, title area, we can reduce the font so that it's not competing with the actual information. We don't necessarily want title background. You may decide to want it. But if you want the background, there's background here. And I put it in the center, okay. Or put it here, okay. Because I'm trying to look at the legend and the title not being too jam-packed together. Okay, so I'll put that on the right-hand corner and probably move this legend more to the left as well, so that there's a little bit of they are not both competing, you know, for attention or for space. Okay, so if I go back into the visual, we go into the legend position, top right, so no, top left now, would move it closer there, okay? And the legend title, our legend title, let's format the legend title as well. The title is, okay, we can take the title off because, see, when it's on, it's saying team leader and taking up that space. So I'll remove the title. So we are looking only at the legend. Again, that reduces how jam-packed that area is. From the title, we know that these are our team leaders already. So no need to repeat that here. Okay. but it's the legend label that text, okay, it's under text, okay? So again, Arial, I think 10 is fine. I just need to change that to a color that pops from what we have done so far, okay? And so if we look at that now, that's starting to make sense, okay? So we have team, total profit by team leader. I can decide to make the title, give it it's a degree of boldness. So again, I go into title and bolding that text up, you know, to look like that, okay? We don't have to conform to this. I would want to see us, you know, put our own stamp on the work that we decide, on how we decide to actually get ours done, okay? So we have that now. The next question, if we go by question, is top 5 commission earners, okay? Is the next one, okay? So total commission. So our top 5 commission earners are these ones. Those are the ones I'll put next. Okay. So let's align this to be at the same level as this one. If I don't get that right, I'll just go and copy the properties. So 246354. So let's use 246354. Okay, 356. I think we'll leave it at 356 because this is longer anyway. Okay. So we have this. We can copy a bit of the background on here. Let me see how that works. Okay. So the background and all the other formattings have been copied except for I'm going to remove salesperson, the tiny salesperson title that we see here. I'll take it out. The total commission at the bottom here, I'll take it out because the title already gives us the information we are looking at, okay? So if in the paintbrush again, if we go into visuals, and I'm going into y-axis first, and I'll target the title, the y-axis title, so that takes that off. And same for x-axis title. I'm taking the titles off only because the titles have been indicated already from, it says total commission amount by salesperson. But this title doesn't really capture what this visual is about. This visual says top 5 commission earners, okay? So if we go back here and let our title reflect that we are looking at our top 5 commission earners, that would be better, okay? So this should be, I'll take that out, top 5 commission earners. So let's earners. Okay. Now, in the business, we know that only the salespersons were given commission anyway. So there's no need to say whether they are salespersons or it's the salesperson according to this data set that were given commission. So that's about serves it right. I'm not too comfortable with the title being too to the right. Maybe it's just what I'm used to. So we change this to we'll align to middle. Then these names are not popping enough, number 1. Number 2, the bars, I don't really know exactly how much Albert got. From what we can see here, we saw 0K. So I'll be doing a guesswork or relying on the tooltip. For someone who hasn't got access to the tooltip, maybe because someone else is sharing the screen, is supposed to see straight on that Albert got 14,984. How do we make that happen? Okay, so again, into the paintbrush, every formatting work you will do within the paintbrush. Okay, so my y-axis, I want to change the text there. The names are the y-axis. So Arial, again, let's use the black color. Gray color is too dull. Maybe we increase the font to 10 or even 11. It's not too bad. Just something that we can see the names we are looking at very well. Okay. Okay. So I'll leave that at 15. Everybody can see that. What else? We are going to completely remove the x-axis. This 0K, 10K here, they are not really doing anything. Okay, so I want to take the values off. Okay, then you would ask me, how do we then know what each of these bars, what the values are? This is where your data label comes in. So we are going to scroll down and look and switch on data labels. Okay, you see, and immediately I switch on the data labels. Each bar has its own value. You see, the Albert brought in almost 15K. That has been rounded up for us. But you know, most of the time, again, I don't like to use rounded figures. Okay, so we are going to, within the data level, okay, we are going to, okay, do a few formattings. Where do we like the position it's automatically picked? Or do you want your value to be inside like that? I like it inside. Okay, again, the value, we can format the font. We can make the color completely black. It is black. Let's see what white or this would look like. Okay, that's not changing. We don't know why that's not changing. But the display units, let's put none so that we have a full display. We can remove the decimal points. It's not necessary. That gives us more space. This font color, I don't know why the font of this value is supposed to change as I'm changing it here. Don't know why that is not changing. I hope I'm changing the right thing. Okay, but yes, it's under value. And if for any reason you would need to put conditional formatting, maybe for a certain value, maybe for those that earned more than £5,000 in commission, you need the colors to change according to a particular condition. You would always come into the function there and, you know, and set the function, put the condition in the way that it is necessary. That's the meaning of the f of x, the function that we see there. Okay. Now, are we comfortable with the color of the bar? Or let's see if we can play around with the bar color. Okay, so if we go into the bars, this, yeah, under here, under bars, let's see what we can do. Now, this is the color that we have. I've got one here that I want to play around with. Let's see how that works for me. Okay. So I'm gonna do #0B 31A5, 31A5. Okay, so this is the color. Again, it's all different shades of blue. Okay, let's see if I can change that a little. Okay, maybe not that much. Okay, now this is where I really need the values, those numbers. I really need those numbers to have font color white. So under data labels, apply settings to all of them. The position is there. We've chosen that position. Title. Okay, we don't need that title. We already know it's total commission. Now under value, yes. Under value, color white. No, it's not changing. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's not normal. It's supposed to change the color for us. Okay. But since it's not changing, and the black color of the font is really gone too much into the color that we have chosen. So I'm going to have to put this, instead of inside end, I'll put it outside so that we can easily read these colors well. Okay, and that is that for this particular one. So we are saying that yes, we made this much profit. Okay, but you know how team leaders, they take credit for a lot of things because we believe they led the salespeople well for them to have achieved what they achieved. Okay, so within each team, this is we're saying that Luke's team had the highest profits, and our top 5 commission earners within the salespeople's camp are these people. Okay, and the next one says a chart of number of items sold per day, and that would be this chart here. Okay, so I'm going to move these two up, and let's see how we make this one work. Okay. Now I've tried to target the bottom end of this for these two. Okay. So let me see if we can align this to be here and move this to be in line with these ones. Okay. Okay. And these can be spaced out more. Okay. So let's see if we can copy some of the formatting here onto here already. Okay, so some of our work is done. Total quantity by date, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily answer. It says which day, a chart of the number of, okay, actually it does, a chart of the number of items sold per day. So we need to reflect this as number of items sold per day. That's what the title should read. Number of items or quantity of items sold per day. Sold per day. So we change the dates to day. Okay, quantity or quantities sold per day. That should be quantities sold per day. Okay. So again, because we know what this y-axis is for, the number is for the quantities because of what we have in the title. So we're going to clean up the y-axis more like the title, we take that out. Again, I'm going to take the values out as well because we are using data label so that each day will show us the actual quantity, that has been done. In the x-axis, we can take the title out as well. We know that those are dates, but we can make them show better. Arial, increase the font a little if there's space. Let this pop as black. Okay, if we bolden it, does it make us see it better? I think so. Okay, so that looks cleaner. Okay, what color do we want to give the bar here? Is this color fine, or do we have any other idea of colors that we could be using? Okay, so one of these two will go to the next page. The next one is a list of items available. So total cost per region would go to the next. This table, we'll move it to the next page. So I'm going to cut it out of here and place it here, paste here. So when we come to arrange this page, we know it's there. Okay, so our next question is this one, which we can put here. And align like that. We can actually control, I'm clicking control to pick these three, and I want to say that I should again distribute them this time horizontally. Okay, so that they are well aligned to each other. Let's go into properties and see 246356. Okay, so 246. Okay, I think that is fair enough. They are all having the same height. 246, 24. It's not too far off, so I'll leave 245. So I'll leave that alone. Let me save the work that has been done so far, just to be sure. This top bit, we can have logo. We can have the title of what we have here. What's this information? Is this an overview of our sales performance? Okay, and the name of the name of the page, we'll change this page 1 to reflect what this page is showing us as well. But before we leave it alone, 2 minutes more before people come in, let's format this as well. We can copy a bit and reflect here. Okay, so fruit name is on top. That's good. What more can we do here? Value, let's change it to Arial. Let's make it, yes, let's make it pop more than that. The header, the column header as well. Let's change it to Arial. Let's make it also pop more. Fruit name, but we are not reflecting the title. What happened? There was title on this, what have I done with the title in all of my formatting? Okay, so I took the title off. Okay, yes, it's back on. So season 3 and those that are less than 10K, they are available in season 3 and they are less than 10K. That's what this reflects. Okay, so the only thing we haven't decided for this quantity sold per day is the bar. Do we want to retain this color for the bar? There is bars, columns. Okay, the ones that run top to bottom are called columns, while these ones are the bars, these ones are the columns. Okay, all right. I mean, we may want to deviate a little, from the color blue and do something else, or go really really, dark, really dark shade of blue like that. We may decide that's what we want for quantities. Okay, something like that, I think, is not too bad. I don't know if that makes it off. But again, we don't want everything to just be the same. You want something to pop out, okay? So in case we were thinking of a background for the title, this is what that means. So if we come into title, this background here, we may decide to, turn this background on, have something like this, or something like the color of and make the text go white so that pops out. That's something that we may decide to have, okay? But again, it's our choice. I feel like changing things to this color sort of looked like we came off the theme we were trying to use initially, because this is quite dark. It feels like that to me, So I may decide to change it back to the color that it had before. Okay, but fingers crossed. And now that I've given this title a background, I feel like giving this to a background. Okay, so the next thing is the title we'll put on top here. Okay, we decide if there's more we can do with this table, maybe bring them all to the center. Okay, we decide if we want to retain these, if it's still following the theme that we are talking about, or if it's too dark. Okay. What do we think? I need feedback so that we can leave before people come in.
This one is too dark.